And unfortunately, the news that also came out yesterday that Sam Leavitt is doubtful for tomorrow's game, ASU in Utah, and then Kenny Dillingham on the morning show today saying it would be a mini miracle if Leavitt plays. He went into a little more detail on the Leavitt injury, but not much. We don't really know what it is.
This is nothing new. This is something that's been going on, and Sam's been working his butt as hard as he can to get better and to be able to play in the game. But at the end of the day, like, we got to protect people from people.
It's a you got to protect
He
people
says
from
that all
people.
the time, doesn't
Yeah.
he? You got to protect people from people. I love that.
and maybe themselves. It's this is a step forward for college football that we even know that Levitt is hurt, right? Because up until maybe last year in the SEC and this year now in the Big 12, they didn't have to do these injury reports. So if this were like 2 or 3 years ago, we would have just gotten to tomorrow and Levitt just wouldn't be playing. Now, I don't know. Maybe that would have been a better thing for ASU. They could have at least the element of surprise with Jeff Sims out there. Now Utah can prepare for Jeff Sims, but I don't think that's the biggest issue. I think the biggest issue, if you're ASU, is you now don't have your guy that makes everything go on offense against a really tough team in a really tough environment.
You know what's so weird about this is you lose a guy like Sam Leavitt, who I think, again, is, my goodness, there couldn't be a worse player for ASU to lose, going up to where they're going up to play a game.
This is terrible news.
This is terrible news. There's no denying that. Yet at the same time, Luke, I do want to say that I still think ASU has a chance to win this game. I do.
I think they have a chance, but I think they have a chance. Yesterday at this time, I fully expected them to win.
For me, again, I think here we go. You're going to line up and put it on the backs of your offensive linemen, literally put it on their backs. Yes. Here comes Malik Brown. Run the ball and run the ball 40 times a game. I don't care how many times you run the ball, provided you're in this game, just keep doing it. I think that's their only chance of actually being there in the fourth quarter and getting the opportunity to win a game with Crazy Carl maybe showing up.
I do think ASU's defense can keep them in this position where they can run the ball, as you're saying. Can't fall behind by 3 scores and expect to run the ball when the other team knows you're probably going to run the ball because you have a backup quarterback. Yeah. And just keep it, if you keep it within 7 points or 3 points or you have a lead, certainly you've got the running backs on this team. And I say running backs not because I don't think Malik Brown can handle it or that he's clearly the lead guy. And he's probably, if they win, we're going to come in here on Monday and talk about the monster game Malik Brown had. But
He would be my pick.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Monster game by an ASU player that allowed them to win the game. Malik Brown.
Because I almost feel like Shimon Mateer is going to be asked to block a lot this week. He's probably, you said it earlier, if you're going to ask Jeff Sims to throw, just throw it to Jordan Tyson. This is not the week to be like, hey, we got to get other guys involved, which is a shame because Jalen Moss is back and they want to get him involved. But I think you have a path. You have a path where you can win this game that makes a lot of sense. It's not like some crazy thing. I just 24 hours ago felt like they were going to win this game. And I said this to you earlier. This is not the time for Sam Leavitt to be hurt. With Utah coming up tomorrow and Texas Tech next week.
You think about it, too. You think about Jeff Sims and what's in front of him, Basinonians, right now, because Jordan Tyson, I would imagine, is going to get an awful lot of attention from Utah. An awful lot of attention. They're going to do whatever they can, play him high-low. Go ahead and press him up at the line and then play a safety over the top of him. Play him in and out as well, outside to inside. They're going to do a lot of different things, I would imagine. And it's one of the reasons why you might have to want to get the ball to him early in a possession. Mm-hmm. On first down, try to actually throw maybe a little bit more. And to me, that doesn't vibe. I understand. It doesn't vibe with saying we're going to run the ball 40 times in this game, and on first down, you might have to surprise them and throw the ball because that expectation, once again, this is a break-all tendency games that you could possibly have. This is a break-all tendency game.
I think ASU's coaching staff is good at this stuff where they can sort of shape-shift if they need to, and they're going to need to, obviously. Tomorrow night in Utah, I think your path to winning this game is that you're not asking Jeff Sims to do a lot. you're asking him to not turn the ball over, and you're asking him to make a couple big plays at big moments where maybe it is 3rd and 8 and you need a first down to keep their offense off the field. You're not asking him to throw 60-yard bombs, but you're asking him to make plays, a couple plays in the most important moments, and you don't want to take Jordan Tyson out. To your point, as ASU, you don't want to take Jordan Tyson out of the game before Utah even has to do it. You don't want to say, like, well, we're just not going to let Jeff Sims throw because your best player now is relying on Jeff Sims to get him the ball. I think that's your path, and then Raleek Brown going off and your defense doing what I think your defense can and will do. And then it just comes down to Kenny and this coaching staff managing this game just right, which is their strength.
You know, one of the things that you might want to track is how many other guys are actually targeted other than Jordan Tyson. Because, again, think about it. Do you think Utah do you think Kyle Whittingham is talking to his defensive coordinator in regard to what we're going to do to Jordan Tyson, what we're going to do to make sure he doesn't beat us? Okay, if they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us with a backup quarterback who is actually throwing the ball to other receivers, not named Jordan Tyson. I honestly think that's what they're going to do. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't do that. I don't know, but you would think that's what they would try to do, which once again puts the emphasis back on being able to run the ball above all else. Line up the offensive line. It's never been more on the offensive line than it is this game for ASU, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
they gotta protect Jeff Sims. They have to do it. Give him a modicum. Give him a certain amount of confidence that he's going to be able to go through his reads and be able to find a receiver and throw the ball when forced to throw the ball. But to me, man, I'll go back to the run. They're going to have to come off the ball, man.
Just like to see
bloody knuckle football.
One team in the city play a season where their best 2 or 3 players are healthy for the whole season. I mean, and I know other teams suffer this stuff too, but ASU was kind of the outlier with the disappointment of last season for the Suns and the disappointment of the season for the Diamondbacks, and so much of that was injuries. And now the Cardinals are stacking losses and significant injuries, and ASU was kind of the one that was doing their own thing. And with 12-game schedule, I'm looking at these 12 opponents. I really do feel like they could, not easily, but I feel pretty confident that they would beat 10 of them, could beat 10 of them without Levit. Could. Not that they would win all. Like if they had to play the whole season,
Who
they
were the
wouldn't.
two that you would?
Utah and Texas
Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're the next two. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Texas Tech, they may have a hard time with Levit, but I'd at least like to see him there. I do think they would have won tomorrow with Levit. They still can, but you're fooling yourself if you're not acknowledging it's 10 times harder now.
Man, the other thing about this is, and I was talking about this earlier, but it's the truth, man. When you have Sam Leavitt, he exudes confidence. He does. Your quarterback, especially Sam Leavitt, in the competitor that he is, he exudes confidence to everybody in that locker room. Guys gain confidence from knowing that Sam Leavitt is their quarterback. We have a chance to go up there and beat these guys. Without Sam Leavitt now, something else takes over in that locker room, to me. They know they're up against. Do you think the ASU players know they're up against the wall?
Well, yeah, because the voters aren't going to give them the benefit of the doubt. We saw it last year. Leavitt missed one game. They lost to Cincinnati, and they held that against him.
Yes, this is a tough place to play. This is a tough team to play. They know they're up against the wall right now. And you know what that breeds? Intensity that borders on desperation. And that's why I'm really interested to see what kind of desperation they play with on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Well, it's a season-defining stretch here now, and it already was going to be. You know, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You could look at it before the season and say the Baylor, TCU, Utah, Texas Tech stretch was the one to watch. Or you could say Utah, Texas Tech, Houston, Iowa State stretch, whatever. But either way, Utah and Texas Tech are at the center of it. And it sounds like you're playing tomorrow without Levit. If Kenny's classifying it as a mini miracle that he would play tomorrow, I think his status for Texas Tech is at least up in the air. I think they can beat Utah without Levit. I don't know that they can beat Texas Tech without Sam Leavitt. I mean, we have to see how they play tomorrow. But to your point, You don't have to manufacture any desperation now because
No.
if you drop to 4-2 or 4-3, a lot of the stuff you want this season is taken away from you at that point.
So much of the time, metaphorically speaking, when your back is to the wall, what happens, brothers? You come out swinging.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.